Yep, I'm on my cool J, and thank you for tuning in to another episode. This is called I'm Broke, Baby. Now, before I start, let me just say I'm from NYC, the concrete jungle, and we have a little saying around here, and it's Yer. Nah, let me stop. It's if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, and that's because
I represent the rent is too damn high party.
thank you, Jimmy McMillan, for that little sound bite right there, because that's exactly what I do represent, and it's just crazy.
I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me?
Yo, Tyrese, can you chill out real quick? Can I get to what I'm doing right now? Yeah, lifestyle in New York is pretty expensive, and this is basically what this episode is going to be about. It's going to be financial statuses, so you might as well listen up, tune in. If not, fuck off. But before you leave, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, so you can continue fucking off, but still supporting my page. Now, before I get started, I will start with my family. Now, we weren't necessarily broke, but we didn't have everything either. I felt like let me correct that. We didn't have everything that I felt that we needed. What we did have, I will forever be grateful for, because we had food, we had a roof over our head, we had water, and we had heat. So everything else was just extra. I just didn't appreciate it. And it went unappreciated until I had some friends that didn't have any of that shit that I just listed there. Like, imagine your basic necessities, like sneakers. Imagine you didn't have sneakers. Yeah, that's like third world poor in a first world. And that's fucking wild. But being around them changed the way it made me think. It made me self-aware of my surroundings. And it made me realize that I never wanted to go on living a life like that, really being that poor, or better yet, bringing in kids into this world with me still being that poor. And I am in debt to them too. Now, but that didn't stop me from being exposed to certain things that made me adopt another lifestyle. I felt like hustling was cool, and then I looked up the drug dealers. Kind of, you know what, that drug dealer shit, that shit is... I don't know if y'all paying attention to hip-hop lately, but this is the debate right now, and it's that I'm from the generation where we were drug dealers, we were pushed to be drug dealers or stone cold killers, and this new generation was kind of raised to be drug users. And I'm going to leave that for a whole nother different podcast, because I do want to get into that too. Yeah, so let me continue. Yeah, so I was idolizing drug dealers. I stopped caring about history books and started reading up on the Supreme Team, Albo, Nicky Barnes, Chaz, etc. You know, if you were my generation, you had access to American gangsters. But that's what I was basically doing in my life. I stopped giving a shit about American history. I didn't give a fuck about the forefathers. I gave a fuck about the things that were going on in my neighborhood and the things that affected it, even though it wasn't the most positive thing. But that's what I was into. Also along this, because I was into this shit, I did not look the part. I didn't fit in that easy. Now, I didn't have the cool clothes per se, but I had like one pair of sneakers for the whole year. If you grew up in a Spanish household like I did, you get one pair of sneakers and one pair of boots, but you don't get your boots until like around Christmas time, so you gotta like choose wisely. Now, what I did have was a good friend that I grew up with. We're around the same age and same size, so it was kind of like a God blessing, because he was able to have access to a nice wardrobe, and he dressed really nice. So his thing was, like, when he would get clothes, when he would get clothes, instead of donating them to Goodwill, that's technically what he was doing, he would give me a call, you know, on the rotary. We didn't have cell phones back then like that. Or he would come to my door, knock, and let me know if I wanted some clothes, and I would come through and I'll pick up clothes. And that's the only real reason I ever got to wear like Ralph Lauren and certain shit, basketball jerseys, all this cool shit, Jordans like that. My parents knew about Jordans, but they were like, nah, we don't still feel like paying that much for sneakers like that. So he was a godsend. God, thank you, Kareem. Because if it wasn't for you, I still probably wouldn't know how to dress, because I really wasn't the most. My brothers took that. I didn't really take that, the whole swag thing, the whole dressing up really nice. Is swag still in? moving on. But yeah, if it wasn't for him and the outfits that I seen him put together, by the time I got those outfits, I would wear the same shit. And I would look halfway decent. Girls didn't start looking at me until I started coming in. Oh yeah, thank God we didn't have the same classes because that shit would have put people would have put two and two together. Only the crew knew that me and him would go through clothes like that. But yeah, thanks Kareem, really looked out for me. But back to where I was going to. New York City's a mess. The rent is like $2,500 for a studio with a shared bathroom for the whole floor. That's wild. Utilities aren't even included, which leads me to my single parents, right? If you're a single parent and you have kids, there's a good chance you have 2 jobs or more. If you're lucky, you're still living at home with your parents because they're really cool. A lot of people don't have the luxury of that. A lot of kids get thrown out when they're 18. But if you got cool parents, you'll be fine. I'm excluding the Section 8 people from this conversation because your rent's like $38, homie. Like, there's no need for you to be in this conversation. You're pretty much set. You just live in a shitty area and are exposed to a lot of things that are going to affect you down the line, but your rent's $38, so you're out of this conversation. And you probably have food stamps too. So, whatever. But the ones left on their own are subject to deal with more issues. Like, they still might not have enough. They might just only have enough for the rent, or probably barely getting the rent. And then you still have your utilities, like I said. If you have a car, then you have car insurance. Kids are expensive. I'm looking at my nieces and nephew, and they eat a lot, and they just won't stop fucking growing. They just, like, you'll buy them, like, shoes right now, and by next week, they'll grow out of it. So, that joint is just wild. Also, because they're working these long shifts, I know it's hard. They probably don't even see their kids like that, which leaves them exposed to unsavory characters, which leads to my next subject. POME. If you know the Jim Jones album, you're thinking Hustler's poem. POME means product of my environment. This affects everyone. Black, white, Spanish, that khaki color. I'm just playing with y'all. Don't violate me in my comment section. You tend to adapt into your surroundings to fit in or survive. Hopefully you get some culture and then you realize that there's more to life than your neighborhood blocks. I thank my older brother for that because he was always going somewhere. Like, he never liked to stay in the borough. He didn't like to stay in the neighborhood. He was always out and about. And which brings me to me because I adopted the same way, but I took it a little bit more further. Like, I like to one-up my brother. I kind of still like to do that now. Like, if he gets something, that I gotta go a little bit higher than him. And since he was, like, all over New York City, what I used to tend to do when I was 14 or 15 is that I would just jump on a Greyhound and ride around the East Coast. And it's not that expensive to do that. Like, I was paying, like, $20 to go to, like, North Carolina. It would be, like, $15 to go to Jersey. I used to be out in Jersey. It wasn't that crazy. But it's all about expanding your mind and trying not to stay primitive. You gotta, like, fucking grow. Because if you don't grow, then you're gonna go to the closest thing to you. And if you're in a rough neighborhood, there's a good chance you're either going to gangs or you're gonna go to drug dealings. Both have an early expiration date. It's either death or prison. That's why education's important. Even the bare minimum is good enough. I might not have graduated, but I know a little bit. If you could tell me what line that's from, please let me know, because when I thought about this section, that line came into my head, so it's only right that I added it to it. But education is important for this reason. Like, I didn't get to go to college. I regret not going to college because now it seems that the work looks a little way more harder than it is right now. But there's people that didn't go to college or can't. No, let me correct it. I'm stumbling here. There's people that didn't graduate high school. So they have to settle for certain jobs. And I'm not knocking nobody, but because they left high school and they didn't graduate, they're probably stuck at $30,000 jobs. Now, I have a GED, which means I can start off at 30 and I could bring myself up a little bit more higher But what I am starting to notice that people that have bachelors and associates, they get paid way more, which they do deserve, even though they put themselves in debt. Crazy. I think who has it? I think it was Johnny. Johnny has like $130,000 worth of debt. And the sad part is he's still looking for a job, but that's the way our economy's set up. But education is important because I'm trying to leave my position right now, and they're not even looking at me like, why would you choose somebody that doesn't have an education over somebody that does have an education? And it doesn't even matter how smart you are. Like I'm really fucking intelligent, and some of the people that do have some of these degrees that I deal with, like I deal with a lot of people that have associates and bachelors, and they're just fucking stupid. You're just book smart. You're not real life smart, but you're beating me on this little piece of paper. So I'll give it to you. You got me there, and you're making me want to go back to school just so I could like make more money than you now. But yeah, school is really important. I can't stress that enough. If I have any young followers listening to this, please take that into consideration. Unless you're going to be an entrepreneur, then you know the insides and outs of certain things. Like, go ahead, do you, but school is important. If you don't think so, and you follow hip hop like that, then why did Kanye finish? Why did Common, David Banner, why did Swiss Beats just recently graduated from Harvard? Why would people that already have money go back for something that they don't need? It obviously means something, so I'm not going to knock anybody that went to college, even though the ones that I've been around exposed to are fucking literally retarded. I don't know. Now, even though I'm not set yet, like my money's not funny, my money's actually pretty decent, I'm not struggling, even with my bare minimum education. Now, I can't speak for everybody because nobody has the same situation. Some people have the brains to go to college, they have the knowledge. It's all right there. They just have to go, but they don't get that opportunity because this is a lot of things in the urban communities where you might, as soon as you get out of high school, you might have to go get a job to support your family, to keep your household afloat. And that means a lot. And that's what I was saying. Not everybody's situation is the same. And that unfortunately sucks. Think, if you're my age, you could remember back. If not, if you're younger, think of the movie Dangerous Minds. Check it out. It's Michelle Pfeiffer. She's a little cutie. But when I think of those kids, I always think about the scene from the movie Dangerous Minds, where these two brothers were pulled out of her class. And I don't know if they went to work. I don't know really what the mother was doing with them. But she said that school right now isn't paying the bills. So she pulled them out because she needed that support system. And a lot of the times, that is a real life factor, but not for the same reason as that ignorant bitch thought. But let's keep it moving. Now let's say you said fuck school, you chose to go a different route, school wasn't for you, you chose to make money the fast way, and so on and so forth, and you're thriving in this industry, but the hood brings unwanted attention and jealousy. I went through it, barely made it out. My friend Ray didn't. He received too much attention. He was just doing too much. Like, he was putting on for the neighborhood. He was trying to better the neighborhood. But no matter what, you're always going to have envious, jealous pieces of shit that try to hold you back and just fuck it up for everybody. Now, in his case, because he was warned, everybody warned him. Everybody told him to leave the neighborhood. But, you know, that love, your hood don't love you back. As much as you think they love you, they don't fucking love you back. And that was the case in this one. You can't live in a neighborhood where the normal person generates $26,000 to $30,000 barely and have $80,000 car out there. You can't be walking around with a vast amount of jewelry, a vast amount of cash, because the vultures is out. But that wasn't the case for Ray, because everybody kind of loved him. In his case, it was people felt a type of way. And the whole reason he was murdered, it wasn't over no beef. It wasn't no police shit. He was murdered because he didn't give somebody a handshake. And that's a common rule in our neighborhood. Like, if you ever approach me, like, I have people approach me on this All My Cool J shit, and I find it really weird. or people will notice me from my Instagram, and they'll be like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm looking at them like, "Who the fuck are you?" And it's no, I don't really mean it in disrespect, but that's just the way I was raised. And I'm gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you? What are you looking at?" And once they go, "Oh, I know you from this," and I'm like, "All right, cool." Now, if I don't know you, I don't say shit to you. You might get a head bob, and I'm gonna keep it moving. Other than that, I'm not trying to mix words in with you. And that was the case in this situation. He walked up to like 4 people, said what up to 3. He looked at the guy, and he just kept it moving. I do the same shit too. Like, I only say what up to the people that I know. If you're not introduced, so, oh well, that's your problem. But the guy took it as disrespect, followed him home, and killed him in front of his own house. And it was just wild. He died the opposite way Rich Porter died. Now, if you don't know who Rich Porter is, go to watch Paid in Full. That's Mitch. But he died for not giving a handshake because he wasn't too friendly. Rich died for being too friendly and letting snakes into a circle. So that always just makes me think about shit. But let me keep moving on. Showing off to me, showing off means a lot in these eras, these times. I just noticed that with IG, everybody always holding a money phone. If they don't have a money phone, they have a gun. And it's just like, you're just basically asking people to test your gangster. There was just a recent interview with Jim Jones where he just said, who asked him? Charlamagne asked him, do you feel that you brought all this attention to yourself because you guys used to say you were the toughest and this and that? And Jimmy had to say, yeah, that's exactly what it was. We brought up a lot of this extra shit to ourselves, and that was just bringing negative, unwanted attention. But I'm straying off my topic here. Where was I? Yeah, showing off too much is wild on Instagram because it looks like everybody's going broke to look rich. You got an $800 shirt on, $500 jeans, a $200 sneakers, a $150 belt, and if you have jewelry on, that's a whole different other price game. But you still live in the hood with your parents, or you live in Section 8, or you got about, let's say, you have a $1,200, $1,300 outfit on, but you're jumping on public transportation, right? Now, I can understand if you have a freaking $1,300 outfit on and you're jumping on public transportation because you're going to a job that's far, but if you're like going to the other side of the neighborhood, nah, bro, you look wild. Stop it, 5. Motherfuckers gotta figure it out. You gotta learn to invest in yourself. Start a business. Like, do something. Stop making these millionaires even more richer. Do you know how fucking stupid it is to fucking spend $200 on a Gucci belt and the motherfucker that made the company doesn't even know who the fuck you are or could even give a shit? You could be homeless and he'll probably walk right over you and not even give you $1. Like, it's fucking crazy. God bless the white tee era, because that's the era that I'm from, and it wasn't always white tees. It's just that I'm from Queens. I'm from Shadyville, Queens, right? Jamaica Ave wasn't that far from me. That was like a $2 ride on the dollar cabs, which I don't know why we still call them dollar cabs, but that's a whole different other thing. So that's a $2 ride. I go down to 165 in Jamaica, go see Poppy or go see Aki, and go get a 3 for $10 deal, right? So that's 3 shirts for $10. It's fucking dope. That's the era I come from. Your jeans could have been Taran jeans because nobody was really checking for them. As long as your sneakers and your shirt was clean, you were golden. You were fine. But that's not the case nowadays. Motherfuckers now tucking their white t-shirts to show off the belt. I don't know what to say there. Also, all this showing off shit, if you're not built for it, you better fucking stop it because motherfuckers will test you. That's attention you don't want. I'm speaking from experience because that shit brought me attention I didn't want. And I just told you, people in your neighborhood are starving. So you're looking like food. So if you're looking like food and you're not built like that, you're gonna get devoured out here. And you're gonna end up on my timeline with a GoFundMe link, which is even more fucking annoying because you spent all this money on your material things, from your shirts, your jeans, your hats, and you forgot to get the Supreme casket. I'm just saying. This shit has to stop. Like, spending all your money on this shit and not planning on the future, especially if you have kids. If you have 2 kids and you're a grown-ass man still buying all this shit, you're fucking wild. Because I know about 2 or 3 people that died this year They had BMWs and they had money, or allegedly had money, and when they died, they had a Go fucking fund me link. It's fucking embarrassing. Like, I'm not even nowhere near that plateau, right? I don't have the name, I don't have the experience, but you know what? I could fucking die right after this podcast. This podcast can't even drop, and I could fucking die, and guess what? My family will be taken care of. I just technically doubled my life insurance yesterday. So, I'm good. I'm covered. I look the opposite of that shit. I'm fucking getting rich looking broke, and I'll fucking take that any day, anytime, because I'm not trying to fucking ball out and still live check to check. That's wild. The only way I'll do that is if I start getting a house, and I'm like, all right, we gotta go maintain this fucking house. But other than that, to look rich to people that I couldn't give two shits about, miss me with that bullshit. Here are some signs that you're probably in a struggle and you might not even know it. You don't own a car. Now, when I say you don't own a car, I'm not saying that you went to the dealership to go get a car and they denied you, because you could buy a hoopty. That's how I started off. My first car was like no more than $1,300. My next car after that was like $1,500, and the next one after that was like $2,500, and they were pretty good cars. But that's not what I'm really talking about. You don't own a car because a license is expensive. If you don't have the prior knowledge to drive a car, that means you're probably taking classes, which means you're dropping like $300 there. It's $200 for registration. It's just, if you don't mark your paperwork right, then you're paying tax fees for the car. Then another, insurance is another thing, because depending on your neighborhood, your rates are going to be fucking high. My rates go up every year because of my neighborhood, and it's fucking annoying. Another sign that you're living that struggle life is you avoid the police like a motherfucker. Welcome to my world. I don't want to see them. I don't want to talk to them. If something happens, I don't want to call them. And if you're thinking, wait, what does the police have to do with the struggle life? I know a couple of cases, or you might know a couple of people that they got a ticket. It could be a jaywalking ticket. It could be a parking ticket. It could be a regular speeding ticket. A lot of those tickets are expensive. They're not expensive. You might not have it to pay it. And if you don't pay after the first month, it doubles. And then it triples. And then here comes this magical thing called a warrant. Now, when this warrant comes out, that shit is wild. That means, it doesn't mean they're going to necessarily come looking for you, because it's probably a bench warrant. It's not a real warrant. But if you get pulled over again, they run your name through the database. That warrant's going to pop up. And they're going to tell you to please step out of your vehicle, or if you're walking down the street and they just randomly stop you, please step into the back of this vehicle. And you're pretty much done for, because then you're going to have to pay your bail. You're going to have to pay the lawyer fee. And here's the kicker. If you go to jail in certain states and you don't plead guilty and you fight it and you lose, you're paying for your whole jail sentence. And if you don't pay your jail sentence, your ass is going back to jail. So, yeah, that's a struggle. Let's see. Paying your bills on time to avoid the penalty. Now, everybody's supposed to pay their bills on time, but sometimes you only got the minimum. And missing a $20 payment and getting charged a $35 fucking fee is fucking wild. On top of that, depending on what you sign, if you got bullshit credit and there's plenty of hidden fees, your rates are going to go up too on that, which means they're going to fuck you. So that means if you're at a 14 or 15, you're probably jumping to a 25-30% rate. So if you're paying a $20 fucking bill, a $20 minimum payment, they're pocketing at least 15. Yeah, so that's one of them. Off-brand cereal. Now, I got a pretty funny story about this shit. Now, I just told you earlier, my parents, we weren't broke. They were cheap. Or better yet, slightly selfish when it came to certain shit. Because my dad had a sound system. He used to throw parties and all. No, I'm not going to get into that. But off-brand cereal. Instead of Cocoa Puffs, you had Choco Puffs. Instead of Rice Krispies, you had Crispy Rice. Apple Jack, so on and so forth. My favorite bootleg cereal was Kaboom cereal. I don't know if it's still around, but that was the shit. And I didn't know I was poor until I went to school and everybody's pulling out their name brand cereal, and I'm over here with my shit. Like, that doesn't look like Lucky Charms. Like, none of them look like Charms, homie. They're all square, and no, get out of here. You can't sit with us. So, here goes my story. Fast forward to about, rewind to about 4 or 5 years ago. I haven't eaten cereal since I don't know. Cereal, I put cereal on pause for like a good 10 years, right? Fast forward again. Rewind back to about 4 or 5 years ago. I'm in a Key Food. I'm in the cereal section. I'm cheap now. I'm looking at cereal that costs $5, and I'm looking at the cereal that I grew up on that costs $2. And I said, fuck it. Let me go get this $2 cereal. So I bought all these little bootleg cereals. And I go to the register, and this bitch goes, the EBT machine is down. Huh? What that gotta do with EBT? She was like, yeah, the EBT machine is down, so we can't accept this cereal right now. You got to come back later. Bitch, I have cash. I'm not... Shit hurt my heart. But, yeah. Fucking crazy. Now, my next one isn't necessarily... If you're a smart buyer, you kind of fuck with these stores, but they're really great for people that don't want to spend too much money. Like me spending $95 on a fucking Polo thermal is fucking ridiculous when I could go to these Trap God places. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the TJ Maxx, the Marshalls, Century 21s, and sometimes thrift shops. Sometimes I don't want to pay $100 for a shirt that I could get for $20 and it has a little stain on it. Hopefully it's cream cheese and not something else and it could clean off. Please, God, don't let it be something else. Now, here goes something that happened to me like last month. This one really fucked me up. And then let me know, well, this day and age, you really don't carry cash with you like that. Or at least I don't carry cash like that on me. Everything is on card. If I'm not paying on card, I'm paying with my phone. If I'm not paying with my phone, I'm paying with my watch. So me carrying cash is barbaric. It's primitive to me. But losing your debit card, depending on what bank you have, and if you have my bank, annoying ass banks, them shits take a while. I lost my debit card, allegedly, and it took me about a week and a half to get my debit card. Now, that entitled me, I had to go to the bank. Wait, let me start over. I had to drive out of my way to get to a bank, wait on a line, see a teller, have the teller triple ID check me to pull out my own fucking money, and then hit me with the, if you needed this money, why don't you just go to the ATM? Bitch, I lost my card. I went to the fucking ATM. So they're dealing with just stupid looking ass. But losing your debit card is a huge struggle sign, because that could really fuck you up. Here goes my last one. Healthcare. Healthcare is a biggie, because I complain about healthcare a lot. You listen to my, I don't know if it was my last podcast or my podcast before that, I told you I got sick. I went to the pharmacy to pick up my shit. They rag up all my shit. It was like $100, right? I was so tight, so mad. I didn't even want to pay the money to get my medication, right? Until I looked at the full price for everything. Certain pills are like $300 a pop. This machine was like $500. These strips are like $80. It was just crazy, right? And it just made me think, what if I didn't have insurance? I'll really be fucked. I'll be hurting. So thank God for Obamacare. A lot of people don't like Obamacare, but there's this beautiful thing in New York and probably around America called Medicare or Medicaid. And if you don't make enough, shit is free. As opposed to you paying what I'm paying. But shit is free, and that makes it way better. As opposed to people paying what they used to pay, or leaving people going without treatment and dying. So healthcare is a huge thing. Now, to you so-called drug dealers, because I know y'all don't have healthcare. Listen to this. You know what's really expensive? Getting shot. All right, listening. It's about $45,000 if you get shot. You might as well just fucking die, because I know you don't have that. Like, that's 2 keys. Really 1 key if you do it right, but it's 2 keys. it's just like, yeah. I forgot what the numbers was. It's like $3,000 for an ambulance. It's $300 to 911 for taking the phone call. It's like $500 for the police officer. It's like $3,000 for the ER, and then you have needles, medications, and all this. Like, just die. Just buy your Supreme casket ahead of time, because healthcare is a big thing. And those are some of my struggle signs. I know there's way more. Let's people go, what about when you just have bread and nothing in the middle? You just have mayonnaise. You make an Irish sandwich or syrup sandwiches or spaghettis with ketchup or spaghetti. I know what I can and can't get into. I'm just going through this right now. Those are struggle life facts. If I have time for another episode, I'll bring into that. All right, here goes my favorite part of this section, which is hip hop and struggling are synonymous with each other. They go well. It goes from like the early 80s. I kind of want to say now, but it seems like everybody's a drug addict, and if you have money for drugs, then you're not struggling. That's all I'm gonna say. But here goes some lyrics to some artists that imply the struggles that they went through. The first one is, of course, Biggie, Juicy. We used to fuss when the landlord dissed us, no heat, wonder why Christmas missed us. Think about it. That shit sucks. Fuck Christmas. I've been in a house with no heat. That shit sucks. Tupac, keep your head up. Trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. It's hard to go legit when you still got... totally massacred there. Let me try again. Let me hold up. Don't judge me. Trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. It's hard to be legit and still pay rent. And then in the end, it seems I'm heading to the pen. I try to find my friends, but they blowing in the wind. Fuck you if you caught that error. Ghostface Killer. All that I have is you. This one, Sabine, I know you hate this line, but it's the most real. You know what? I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes when I hear this song, I get a little teary-eyed, because that's some real shit. That song has like some real truthness to it. It just tugs away at your heartstrings. All right, Ghostface Killer. All that I have is you. 7 o'clock, plucking roaches out the cereal box. Some shared the same spoon. Watch Saturday cartoon. Sugar waters was our thing. Every meal was no frill. In the summertime, free lunch held us down like steel. That shit, I remember doing free lunch in the summertime, so I really do know what you went through. Sugar water, nah, you didn't get me with that one. But almost everything else, I kind of went with there. But that song, if you never heard that shit, you millennial bastards never heard of that shit, go check it out. That shit like really fucks with you. As much as I don't like this next guy, I do respect what he went through. I'm going to talk about Meek Mill's Ambition. That's another thing that's left for another podcast, because everybody wants to talk about how I feel on him going to jail for violating probation. But this isn't the podcast. Well, this isn't the episode for it right now. So, Meek Mill's Ambition. Only hope I had was selling dope. Was on the grind, cause times is harder than selling floors. My mama taught me never steal and never tell you folks, and never tell on folks. I grew up looking to niggas that was selling coke. Yo, I'm not a rapper, so if I'm off, give me some slack, cut me a break. Alright, who we got next? This is my favorite, because when everybody mentions old school hip hop, they mention this fucking guy right here, and they mention this song. Grandmaster Flash, The Message. I'm gonna try to get his right, because I always reference this shit because it's bad funny, even though it's fucked up. Broken glass everywhere. People pissing on the staircase, they just don't care. I can't take the smell, I can't take the noise. Got no money Got no money to move out, so I guess I got no choice. Damn, I'm just butchering the last lines on all of these shits. Now, if you're listening to this beat right now, you're wondering where it is. It's from Kanye West. Drive Slow? Yeah, it's Drive Slow. Now, this isn't the lyric I'm gonna go with, because I didn't necessarily find any better lyric than what I'm about to kick right now. So the last lyric I'm gonna go with is Kanye West's Heard Him Say. Now I'm gonna try to salvage myself, redeem myself with this one. Where I'm from, the dope boys is the rock stars, but they can't cop cars without seeing cop cars. I guess they want us all behind bars. Yeah, that shit is real. I really wanted to spit the whole verse on that one, but yeah, I'm not a rapper, as I just stated. Now, this is the part where we come to a closure, and I talk about. I normally recap. I know people that really listen to this shit. Oh, I know I was supposed to drop this like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I should have been well prepared to drop this about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had like way better material. But I didn't like my recording situation, and I really wanted to get this out than to go another week without putting something out. It just feels like it's rushed. It's because it kind of is. If it feels sloppy, it kind of is. And my studio situation will improve one day where I could just. I know a lot of people say I'm a little monotone, and it's because I am. I don't have the freedom to do how I want to record. I don't have the sound machine, even though you guys been hearing it in the intros lately when I do these episodes. But this is what it is right now. Now back to the episode. Yeah, this is I'm Broke, baby, and I know you, as I just stated earlier, if you're gonna go like, oh, you didn't get into the full detailed topic, it's because I can't remember everything. A lot of this stuff is written down, but it's written down in such chicken scratch. It's fucking horrible for me to make up. And I know some people probably wanted me to talk about the systems and how they place to keep us down, because that's a real thing. Fucking prisoners in modern day slavery. It's fucking, even though, what was it? It's like $2,900 a day to keep a prisoner healthy and fed, but they still get free workforce labor because they pay these prisoners about 5 cents an hour. I know that you guys wanted to talk about diploma scandal, because that's a huge thing, as I just stated earlier, which is like I didn't drop out of school. I graduated with a GED, but I didn't go to college. I just went straight to go make money, right? Now, that stops me from competing with everybody else, right? But it kind of puts me in a slight advantage and a disadvantage. The reason I say it's an advantage is because a lot of my friends that went to college, they have a huge fucking loan hanging over their head, and there's a good chance they're probably not working in the field they're supposed to work in. They'll probably get in one day, but they still got to deal with all their shit. A lot of people that I know that went to college went back to live with their parents because they couldn't find a job in their field, and some did make it out. I congratulate them. The recent person that I know that did it was this kid I went to school with named Dre, and I knew he was going to school, but I didn't know what he was going to school for. And I just saw he just posted up a pic like 2 days ago, and he's working on the set of Luke Cage. That's pretty fucking big. I got some homegirls that are out there that work on Love and Hip Hop and they make clothes. I got my friend Sabine that she's a mystery. She does a lot of shit, but she's always working. She's always hustling, and I know she deserves everything that's going her way. But that's only a few people that I named. The others, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They look like they're not happy. I hopefully God blesses them and they are happy, and it does work out for them. But yeah, my dep isn't as crazy as their dep, but it also puts me at a disadvantage because I can't compete with them when I apply for certain jobs that require me to have a bachelor's, an associate's, a master's. I've not even looked. They just take my resume and probably chuck it in the trash. But yeah, I might have to go back to school to get something to compete with. Now, I noticed when I brought up poem and I said black, white, Spanish, Hispanic. The only real difference is that it's meth and crack. Like, if you're from a poor and disenfranchised neighborhood, I'm not comparing rich people to poor people, but if you're in a poor and disenfranchised neighborhood, the only difference between the white people is that they cook meth, and the difference between black and Spanish people is that we cook crack, and Chinese people sell gizmos. I'm playing, don't come after me for that one either. Now, struggle meals, I listed some. If you have some good struggle meals, let me know in the comment section, because I might be struggling again real soon. And I'm gonna need some good tips. How about somebody hit me up and we could do like a struggle meal cooking show? That'll be dope. Don't steal my idea, because everything's coming in style. Like, I know people that have cooking jail books, which is fucking hilarious. First person I seen do that was Cali Fitness. And he made some nasty shit, but people were commenting it looked delicious. So I don't know what the fuck is wrong with people these days, but people will watch anything and like anything and try anything. So that's the market that we're in. And I fucking love it. Now, this has been I'm Broke Baby. Before you finish this podcast, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm on my Cool J. Peace.